I've always been told no. So for me, for my friend who encouraged me, saying, look, she was similar, single mum as well, to be able to say, this is what I've had to do and this is what the outcomes are. And I thought, well, it's not going to hurt to make that phone call.
Yeah.
So I made the phone call.
And good on you for
and
doing
I'm glad.
that.
I'm so glad I did.
Welcome to My Money, My Story, where we chat to some amazing people about their money story and hear just how much money can really impact your life. And I'm your host, Tammy Barton, founder and director of MyBudget.
We begin today by acknowledging the Kaurna people, traditional custodians of the land on which we are recording our podcast today. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and we would like to extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples.
Hi, Valerie. Welcome to our podcast. We are very excited. Our listeners are very excited to hear your story, and I am super excited to hear your story because I know a little bit about it. Not a lot, a little bit. I've had some glimpses, and I'm really pumped up about getting into this with you because it's so inspirational. It's so inspirational. So where would you like to start? Where do you feel comfortable starting? Maybe back in the beginning. You're the guest of honour today, so you go wherever you feel comfortable.
Well, the reason why I'm here is thanks to a friend who saw how difficult my life was being. Had an injury at work, that I'd been in childcare for 30 years, had a fall, and from that fall, it actually destroyed my whole life. My relationship with my two daughters fell apart. My relationship with my partner at the time fell apart. And finances, well, that just went downhill. I got into bad habits, not paying bills. And I got to the stage where I almost lost everything, had to go bankrupt. There's a house that I fought so hard for. So my friend decided to show me what MyBudget was all about and encouraged me to move forward. So I made the phone call. And from that phone call, next day I went into the office, spent, I think it was like 3 hours. I've always had banks telling me, no, you're on WorkCover, can't refinance, you can't get a loan because I'm on WorkCover. It's not guaranteed, even though I earned a fair amount of money at the time, even though I'd been on WorkCover. WorkCover paying me 80% of my income, not the full 100. Also not having super paid. So at the time for 13 years, I lived on WorkCover and had the same home loan people for 11 years, even though they didn't want to know me. They were quite happy for me to be in debt, miss payments and then hassle me. So when I went into the office, and the staff there were just absolutely brilliant. I was the embarrassed one with a massive big file of debts. Electricity bill was $3,500 in arrears.
Wow.
Water bill's about the same. Rates, I think it was about 6 years behind.
But it's bad from your perspective and everybody feels like, oh, is this the worst? But
and that's it, yeah.
Quite honestly, you're not the only person in that
And
position.
At the time, like I've seen ads saying, my budget can help you, blah, blah, blah. And you sort of think for yourself, you say, nah, too good to be true. That's not going to be, that can't help me. I've always been told no. So for me, for my friend who encouraged me, saying, look, she was similar, single mum as well, to be able to say, this is what I've had to do and this is what the outcomes are. And I thought, well, it's not going to hurt to make that phone call.
Yeah.
So I made the phone call.
And good on you for
and
doing
I'm glad.
that.
I'm so glad I did. The next day I was there in the office, like I was saying, nearly 3 hours going through all my paperwork. And towards the end, they came out and said, right, we can have this first 12 months of what your finances are going to look like. And this is what your finances are going to look like in 2 years. And having a look at them, I couldn't believe it. It was like, how can these bills be all paid out and then end up in credit? how can I have some savings here? I don't know what savings are. I was living day to day on cheap 2-minute noodles, water,
Mm.
doing nothing for myself.
Did it feel too good to be true?
It did exactly that. To see this spreadsheet and I looked at them and I said, how? And they said, well, this is how. And your staff took their time and showed me what they've done and how it can be done. So walking out of the office, I felt 10 times lighter. My shoulders weren't heavy anymore. I made the decision, which was the best decision I've ever made, was to say, yes, please help me.
How amazing. And congratulations to you. I mean, you should be so proud of yourself.
I am now.
For taking, that's brave.
And that's it. I needed to change. My whole life was a disaster. But the main thing was my relationship with my 2 daughters.
Talk to me about that. How did your financial situation impact your relationship with your daughters?
I wasn't a good mum for them. I wasn't financially being able to be there for them, but it also changed my personality, my ways of thinking. I did horrible things to myself and I wasn't thinking about my 2 daughters. And they were going through teenage years. That was the hardest thing. Seeing their mum in so much pain, not just the physical pain, but the mental pain. Unfortunately, I put my eldest daughter through something she should never have had to go through. And both of my daughters weren't with me. And it took so much for me to say, oh, my God, what have I done to them? It's not right. And it was all because I had a fall at work and it changed my whole life around. But as I say, it's not just the physical. It was a mental breakdown.
I mean, going through that in itself, having an injury to deal with and live with, and
live with chronic pain.
And then all of a sudden your income's cut by 20%, but you still got the same bills.
That's it.
That you had before.
Yeah.
You know, that's a very difficult situation.
That's right.
To go through.
And being that mental health, you put yourself in a different situation where I needed an outlet. So I went to the pub and I gambled.
On pokies?
On the pokies. And this is the first time I've said it to anyone, really, that my children will hear. I was embarrassed.
Thank you for being so honest.
And that was something where I said, no, things have to change. I need my 2 daughters. They're growing up to young adults and needed to change.
Was there a catalyst moment, like a turning point, or was there a moment, or was there a range of things that you just went?
Just a range of things.
This is enough. Like
I needed to change. I was miserable even more than ever. And I was about to go bankrupt and lose my house. And I've always fought for that house. I bought this house 19 years ago this Christmas. Well, 1st of July,
Congratulations.
November, 1st of November. Mum helped me in the sense of putting up the deposit and being a single mum at the time, the banks had to have her details in there. So Mum was on the mortgage and the title. Even though I paid for it all, I had that house for my children's future. I always said, this house belongs to my daughter. That first Christmas, unfortunately, we lost my dad there. So for me, I can't let go of the house. And to know that I'm about to lose that home, my girls' future, because I don't have anything else for them when I died. So for me, it was that house.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want with it, but that was for them. And to think that I'm about to lose it, I can't do that to them anymore. I grew up. I had a key that I could open that door to be helped and actually say, yes, I need help. I'd been to counsellings. I've seen a financial consultant before. It never worked.
Yeah.
So having the words, yes, we can help you,
amazing.
That was my big thing.
And so in that appointment, you went through your budget and did you make some decisions? Did that consultation help you to make some decisions about your life?
Definitely. The first thing they asked me was what short-term goals.
Mm.
And my short-term goals was get on top of all my bills.
Yep.
Have some food in my fridge. Sounds horrible, but it's true. The biggest long-term goal they asked me, my big thing was I want to take mum off my mortgage and title because that asset is affecting her pension.
Right, of course.
Yep. And mum doesn't need that.
Yes.
So I've got to say that in 11 months, I was actually able to do that.
How amazing. I just want to jump over the table and high five you right now. I mean, that's incredible.
That was my biggest thing.
11 months.
In 11 months.
And you were told for how long it couldn't happen?
Oh, I don't really remember, but it was about that.
A long time.
Yeah, it was a long-term goal. For me, it was like that was my only goal. Get all these bills out the way. That was my little goals. And by the 11th month, all my bills were in credit, which I didn't know how that looked like. At one stage, I had no car and home and content insurance because I couldn't afford it. All of a sudden, I'm actually paying 12 months payments instead of
amazing.
the weekly or fortnightly payments.
And by the way, just so that our listeners know, this is all on the same income, right?
Yes.
Like your income didn't change.
Well, actually, it did. It dropped.
Oh, it dropped.
Actually I'm living on 60% of my income.
Oh, okay.
So it's dropped. So I'm earning a way less than what I was.
Yep.
So that made it a bit harder. But when I signed up with MyBudget, it was that amount of income.
Yep.
Which really I can see that it didn't matter. It was how it was set up.
Yeah.
And how it was being taken in control.
And for you, I know, having heard a little bit about your story, that it wasn't, it was setting up the budget and it was joining MyBudget, but you made some decisions about your life then and there and that appointment.
Definitely.
And so looking at the budget, is that what helped you to make those decisions? You went,
yeah.
So
it could be done, like just to see that spreadsheet, to see that, okay, this amount will go for this bill, this amount will go in this bill, and this, and this. And there's actually, there was one amount was my living expenses, which was $150. It's like, where does that come from? Oh, but that'll be in your bank account and you can use that for food, shopping, petrol, and my smokes at the time. And it's like, oh, for the week or for the month. And they go, no, this is your weekly amount. And for me, it was like, that's like 3 months worth for me. Like I was living maybe on $20 a week.
Yeah.
$50. But
wow.
All of a sudden I'm getting this allowance. And that was from the first visit to see that. And within, I think, 6 months or so, all my bills were in credit.
Amazing.
It was.
Amazing.
It was.
And you mentioned then smokes. Did you quit smoking as well?
I end up quitting 2 years ago on the 1st of January.
Congratulations.
Thank you. My daughter had a baby, and that's the biggest boost that I could have, to say I'm giving up the smokes, health-wise too, money-wise. With that money, I'm actually going to the hairdressers every 6 to 8 weeks.
Amazing.
To get my hair done, which I've never done in my life. So
that's so incredible.
To be able to do that, which I've never done. So, yeah.
You should feel very proud of yourself.
I am.
Because you made a turn in your life. You got your finances sorted out. You quit smoking. And I assume as well you stopped gambling too.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Because
COVID helped.
all of those things.
But I have money, but I've actually been able to spend it on whatever I wanted.
Meaningful things.
That's right. Like I was at a friend's house, and during COVID, they were my bubble people, and we were watching their they was talking to me about their Chromecast.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, how do I get that? And they go, oh, you just get on the app and JB and you can order it. I went, oh, my God, I can actually. I have money in my bank account.
Oh, how good is that?
It's like something so simple, so little. But for me, it was a huge thing that, yeah, I can buy that. I've got money in my
Amazing.
bank account. I can buy that. And I still can do that. Well, my granddaughter's birthday was last weekend. And I spoiled her rotten
Good on you.
because I had the money.
Yep.
I have the money.
Amazing.
When I refinanced my budget loans, they were fantastic to help me. For actually got Mum off my mortgage and off my title.
How incredible.
And that was in that 11 months that
So talk
happened.
to me not just about the loans, but the how have you found the staff to be with you and helping you with your budget and that sort of thing, and the lending piece too, because that's huge.
For the first time, I wasn't told no. Again, I got a yes to help me with my home loan, to say, yeah, we'll get someone to have a look for you. They could see that the 11 months all my bills have been paid on time. My rates were paid out. So
I mean, you did so much.
Yeah,
in such a short period of time.
But it wasn't just me. It was my budget. Your staff have worked so hard to get me to where I am. I didn't give up. That was another big thing. I didn't give up. I let you guys take over my finances, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And your staff, I could ring up and say, look, can I do this, and this? Yep, not a problem. You can hear your staff's voices. They're smiling.
Mm-hmm.
We say that you can hear a person smiling while they're talking, and that's what it's like. I can ring up and say, look, I had a car accident. I need excess money. Is there a possibility? Yep, not a problem. Here, let's do this and this and this. And it's like, oh, okay, I don't have to borrow money off Mum, which is what my life was.
Yeah.
Mum, can I lend some money? And then when I get it back, I'll give it back to you. Now it's like, no, that doesn't happen. We had a big storm hit in October last year and my garage door got smashed in. I had the excess of money there to put a claim in. To actually have a house and content insurance
is one thing.
But to be able to claim without even a worry.
Yeah.
Christmas, I've got money there allocated for Christmas. Even for my own birthday, I've got money allocated.
Oh, how good.
I know.
Celebrate yourself.
I have been.
Yeah, good. Because you have to budget for fun and budget for yourself. It's not all about.
I'd go out. I used to go out with a group of friends up to the pub and would see live band. They were the free ones. I would not drink because I couldn't afford it, but I'd have water all night because I couldn't afford it. I could go out, but that was it. Now I can go out and I can have a couple of drinks.
Good on you.
And it's not water.
And what's your drink of choice?
Oh, good old bourbon. Top shelf.
Well, funnily enough, I like a bourbon. I'm a bourbon girl, and you like the car races, and I like the car races.
And it's so nice to wake up this morning hearing the car races.
In Adelaide, guys, it's the Adelaide 500.
Yeah, 500.
Supercars.
Supercars, yeah. 500.
Want to make sure I get it right.
So nice to hear the noise buzzing around.
And how's everything now with your daughters?
Oh, we're so close. It's amazing. We just celebrated my mum's 75th birthday on the weekend all together.
Beautiful.
As well as my granddaughter turned 2. And we had a party and my 2 daughters are in the same house together with them celebrating. We had portraits done of all of us together. So the 4 generations, my mum, myself, my granddaughter, my 2 daughters, and the relationship between us so much different and so enjoyable.
And that relationship got better when you
when I changed. I'm not miserable. I'm not angry. I think the angry is more the word. I'm not all over the place.
And you think this is because you've got your finances sorted?
Oh, definitely. It's given me the confidence. I've actually just completed 18 months of studying of Certificate 4 in bookkeeping and accounting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm not taking away the MyBudget yet because I still can't trust myself.
Yeah.
Which I will, but yeah. And I've just started a diploma in accounting. So
That's amazing. Amazing. We have plenty of accountants that are clients, so do not worry about that.
I'm not. When it comes to my own money, I'm happy for somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say it to everybody. I do my budget, and they all say, "Oh, doesn't that cost?" I don't see how much it costs. I'm happy to have that. It's cheaper to have you guys every week than a packet of cigarettes later. So,
far cheaper.
Yeah. And I'm happier. I'm better. My mum's words were, "You are back to who you used to be." And to have that from my mum, that's
really lovely.
The best thing I could ever hear.
Yeah.
And even having my daughters around.
Yeah, I'm so pleased to hear how it's transformed your relationship
definitely.
with your daughter and your daughters, and spend time with your you've got granddaughter and a couple of others.
Yes,
you've got 3 in total.
I've got a son who we took in through the court guardianship through the courts, and even though he's 29 now and he's moved on, he's got 2 little boys, and I take them in as my grandsons.
Of course,
they're my family. Family doesn't need to be blood, but
of course
we do. We've got them, and they're part of my life as well. So,
and they must be also proud of you.
Oh,
especially.
So.
I mean, I look at you and I think how amazing. You've gone. You've had an injury, and now you've been inspired to, started studying.
Yes.
And do bookkeeping.
Well,
and it
at 53, it's pretty hard to go back to school.
Yeah.
And haven't studied in 30 odd years.
And daunting as well, but you're doing it. This is a real inspirational story for others who might be thinking, I'm feeling a bit stressed out about my finances, or, they might be just feeling a bit down and out. I mean.
Oh, and it does. Money does affect everybody. And if you've not able to organise the funds and understand what it is, and you put yourself in a bad situation, sometimes you can't get out of that hole.
Yeah.
But you need to, my biggest thing was you need to say help. And it is hard to say that. I know I can be stubborn, but I'm so grateful now that I did put my hand up and say help. I need help.
Yeah. And you're and just fortunate that your friend used the service as well.
Definitely.
So someone was able to say, hey, Val, give these guys a call.
Yeah. She showed me the app. She showed me how it worked.
Yeah.
And she was a single mum too. And she said to me, go for it. It's not going to hurt. Have a look. Get into it. And the fact that I had somebody show it to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't just an ad on TV thinking, that's too good to be true.
Yeah.
It's not going to be accepting. You won't accept me. And that was a lot of being told no all the time by banks, financial consultants and that. So for me to be told yes.
So I always say this, right? I always say, what's the worst that can happen? Someone can say no.
That's right.
So you can just always ask. You can always try, and you could fail, but at least you tried.
That's right.
I think sitting on the sidelines and watching your life go by, it's a waste.
And it's not always a no.
It's not always a no.
Even though
But that's the worst thing that could happen.
That's it. And after a while, it does affect somebody to keep hearing the no.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how there is the yes out there. And you guys have really done that for me. You've turned my life around. It's built my relationship so much stronger with my family. I have my house still, and I'm in front. I've got a redraw amount in there that I've never seen before.
How amazing.
Yeah.
So where to for now? What's happening with the journey? What are your goals now? Or are you just happy living your life?
I think I'm just happy being around my grandkids, my granddaughter mainly. In the last 2 years, I've actually renovated my house, got brand new carpet through the house.
Beautiful.
Had all the walls painted. My daughter's partner built me a veggie garden.
Oh, nice.
Raised up. And it looks fantastic.
Amazing.
So the little, even though 2 years ago I've had my home refinance. The extra money, the new goals have been to improve my house.
Yep,
which
amazing.
I have. Yeah. I'd like to start again and maybe go to Egypt.
Amazing.
I've always dreamt about going to Egypt or go on a cruise around the South Pacific Islands.
Beautiful.
So that's my next
Beautiful.
goals.
Well, you have to get on the phone to the to the team at MyBudget after this and
definitely.
say, look, when is this going to be a reality? I was just chatting to Tammy and your boss said,
that's right.
You need to get this in my budget because you deserve it. You deserve it. And, you know, and hopefully, you know, once you finish your study, you know, you've got, I mean, you're only 53. You've got a lot of years ahead of you.
Oh, yes, I hope so.
And, you know,
yes.
And I just think good on you for making that change.
And I'm so glad I did. And for the first time I can say, yeah, I deserve to move forward.
You do.
I've worked hard. I'm in a great place. And it's thanks to you guys. MyBudget have been there. My guardian angels, I actually said to one of the staff members when I got my home loan, because you guys have really showed me that there's that light at the end of the tunnel, definitely. And there are people out here that say yes, not always a no.
Well, thank you. And thank you for sharing, because honestly, your story, Val, and you're the reason I started this company.
And I'm so grateful you did.
You're for these exact outcomes is the reason my clients are my inspiration. My clients, people ask me what inspires you. I say my clients because they take that step to change their life for the better. Yeah. And this is the best part of my job. You know, there's lots of things I love about my job, but the best part is hearing our clients' stories and hearing how their lives have transformed for the better.
Yeah.
And I always say this, though, it's them. We're their partner, but it's our clients who do that for themselves, and they are courageous for doing that.
Oh, you guys, you make it so easy. And that was one thing that for me, so easy to talk to, and I was so embarrassed that first day, but I walked out of there feeling so happy.
So good.
And it took just that one phone call and that one visit, and now here I am.
And here you are.
Living life.
Living life, sleeping in a king bed.
Oh, I know.
Oh, that's amazing.
Can't believe
it. Truly, truly inspirational.
Thank you.
I've really loved hearing your story. I'm grateful for all of my clients who make that step. And a big part of this podcast is about gratitude. So what are the things, or what is the thing that you're most grateful for?
To the relationship with my two daughters, my granddaughter, mum, and all my group of friends around me. They've even noticed the difference.
Amazing.
And I'm so grateful that MyBudget was there to help.
Well,
you guys were my big stepping stone, and I can just move forward now, which is great.
Thank you.
We're still having you here.
and thank you for sharing your story today.
Thank you.
We always end the podcast with a question about what message do you want to put out to the world? So if there was a big billboard and you could put a message on there, or, you know, one of those blimps in the sky going over the Adelaide 500, what message would you want it to say? This is Val's message out to the world. What would you like it to say?
Pick up the phone and just call.
Oh,
it is the best step forward you can ever do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate your time. You're so inspirational. And you should be so proud of yourself, and your daughters, I know, would be
amazing.
so proud of you. And,
they're amazing. And
you're a fabulous person. So thank you for coming on and sharing your story. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for everything you guys have done for me.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us today. To hear more about our stories and budgeting tips, head to mybudget.com.au to check out our resources there. We've got free budget plans that you can download. And if you're interested in taking that next step so you can start living your life free from money worries, just give us a call and book in your free appointment. It won't cost you anything but your time.
MyBudget Australian Financial Services Licence and Australian Credit Licence number 391759.